In 2012, the America's Rugby Championship was to have been hosted in the capital city of Buenos Aires, Argentina. But what with the pressures of a first year in the newly expanded Rugby Championship, a late decision was made to switch the hosting duties to Canada. And so it was, with just under 2 months' notice, that Langford, located within Greater Victoria, would welcome Argentina, Uruguay, and the USA for the unique round-robin event. While there was plenty of rugby to keep the players occupied, the natural beauty of the host city, nestled at the tip of Vancouver Island on the Pacific Ocean, offered a unique opportunity for members of the Argentina squad to go whale watching on a day off. Conditions were rough, but the players did manage to catch sight of sea lions and a humpback whale with its baby. For hosts Canada, the ARC was a chance to showcase its new Centre of Excellence in the Victoria suburb of Langford. 2 years ago, the Town Council made Rugby Canada an offer it couldn't refuse, creating a purpose-built stadium and offices where future Olympians from across the country can now train at in the newly centralized National Team Training Centre. It is also where the city of Langford has built its love affair with rugby, in a country that reveres a different sport played on ice with sticks and skates. Over 3 doubleheader match evenings, nearly 8,500 fans turned out to support Canada in their quest to win the 4th America's Rugby Championship. Canadian coach Kieran Crowley says the chance to play these key development games on home soil in the very community where players live and train was a unique opportunity.
The crowds have been great, and I think this tournament, it's the biggest probably benefit for the rugby program in Canada from having this tournament here is not so much the results, but the fact that the MyRB gave Canada this tournament. Canada's shown that it can run a tournament like this, and the support's been great, and there's probably a lot of people who haven't seen a game of rugby at this sort of level have been able to come out and watch and been exposed to it. So the legacy of that sort of exposure is a thing that's going to live on from this tournament.
Crowley adds that the creation of tournaments such as the ARC and other IRB initiatives have created a clear path for young Canadian players to the national team.
Yeah, I think it's getting better because when I first got here, we used to pick players from club rugby and they used to have to go straight into international rugby, and players just can't do that. There's just too much of a gap, and now we've got the Canadian Rugby Championships, which is a regional competition, and that's a stepping stone after club rugby, and then there's this American Rugby Championships, which is another stepping stone, and then there's national team selection. So players can now see a clear pathway, and the level of competition at each level is a step up. So it's creating some like I say, it's creating some steps along the way that make it not so much of a big jump when they suddenly get called into international rugby.
Connor Braid is a Victoria native who at age 22 has had a pair of test appearances for Canada. He views the challenge of playing the development sides from the US and 2 South American sides as a great chance to grow as a player and a rugby nation.
The speed of the game, I think they're learning that at which we can play it. Club level, obviously, you got guys who aren't as good players or aren't mentally there or just sort of having some fun. So this is a good scenario for guys to kind of learn the pace of the game and really step up and start playing some fast, hard-hitting rugby.
IRB Regional Development Manager Tom Jones speaks glowingly about Langford.
Well, it's really been very excellent the way it's gone. This is a capacity crowd today. The crowd has grown. It's a new facility and a new market, and here we have the place, people coming in an hour and a half before the game. It's going to be packed. It's going to be rocking tonight, and we're very excited about it.
America's Rugby Championship Tournament is brought to you in part by the International Rugby Board, the City of Langford, Tourism Victoria, Suma Strategies, Sport Host Victoria, the Pacific Institute for Sport Excellence, the Canadian Sports Centre Pacific, Own the Podium, Enterprise Public Relations. Also thanks to our media partners, Check TV, 100.3 The Q, The Islands Rock, The Zone 91.3 Modern Rock, The Times Colonist Newspaper, Your Island, Your Newspaper.